Hey everyone! So welcome back to part 2 of our teacup and rose stream. So yesterday we got started on this and we got part of the teacup done. We just need to add the handles and then our rose over here. Also, I did finally get the image to come up on Discord, so I'm going to pull up the reference image. Hopefully it doesn't think too long about it. But you can see here, even though it's dim and Discord is apparently thinking, you can see where we're going to add the handles and the rose. Now, the colors in this one are a little less blue than my image. So I'm going to come back to my image and show you. So see, mine is much bluer. But this is okay because, you know, we're just making a shiny dish. So mine's maybe more of a pewter. And no big deal. I did save my paints from yesterday. If you wrap them in plastic, it will keep the air from the paint and keep it from drying out. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. I've got a couple things I want to do today, so I want to get this done. Let's do this. So we're going to get our round brush, get it wet, and we'll have to do the same thing we did to start yesterday. I got some clean water, but you need to paint the bottom of the cup to get it all the air bubbles out. All right, so I've got my water. Everything's being extra shadowy today, so I'm just gonna lay my paints down there. Sorry about if that was super loud. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start on the handles. So I'm gonna pick up some of my light colored paint here. So the first handle is going to be on the right side. We're just going to do a little bit of an S shape. So it's going to come down. And just curl a little bit. So this is a backwards S. Is it? Yes. Since my name begins with an S, you would think I would know that letter pretty well. I'm struggling with focus today. Okay, so we're going to come and paint on top of it. Now, if you remember the coffee cup from the other day, it crosses over itself. So we're going to come down on the inside. So right now we just want to get the shape. Now, here's the thing. Now my brown did dry, so I'm going to have to get some more burnt umber. Rinse off my brush. Oh, and you know what? I need a paper towel. So let me get that. All right, so I'm going to pick up a little bit of brown. And we're going to come in and do shadow on the side of our handle here. All right, I want to blend these just a little bit. So remember, blending is clean brush. And you just keep wiping it off as you come in and just blur the lines, the edges. I'm going to pick up just a little bit of the light color. Maybe a little more than I actually got on there. And I'm going to come in and just do a highlight line right along the edge here. We got a little outblended. Okay. Now we are going to do the one on the left. So that was it for the right side. All right. Let's do, so this one is facing away from us. So this one is actually not going to be directly on the side. It's going to start in just a little bit. So we want to make sure that we're at the same height here. I'm just going to make a mark there. You probably can't see that. I've got a little mark right there. And then let's see where I want it to end. Right here. All right, so I'm going to come out and curve back in. This side is going to look a little bigger than this side because it's facing away from us. Get a little bit more water. Oh, hey! Hey BP, what's up? Okay. That looks a little lower to me than this one. So we could fix that. I'm just going to bring this down. And I'm going to fake this right here by just putting a little brown there. Let me see if I can fake the blue. Unfortunately, it was already dry, and I don't want to remix the colors. So all I did was just kind of dab some of the lighter color on there, which just lightened up the, because this brown is much lighter than that brown. So when it's a small area like that, sometimes you can just fudge it. You can just, you know, make it up. That's okay, you know. So let's go ahead and reblend this area. And we got to get that highlight back in there. Oop. Well, that was a bit much, but guess what? It's still wet, so we can go in and fix it. So all you do is you come in with a clean brush. There you go. Yikes. It's fine. All right, I'm letting that side go. We're gonna work on this side. So I need to get a little bit more of this light color here. So now this is darker. This is like the same shade as like what's right in here. So we're gonna have to lighten this up a little bit with some white. I'm gonna probably have to put more white on here. But anyway, so this side is going to come out more. Let me get a little more water. So even though I covered these with plastic, it still will dry a little bit, you know. I mean, a little air is going to get to it because there was air already in there. There's no such thing as a glass half full. It's always got air in it. Okay. Let's add a little bit of white. Now my white did dry. So I'm put some new white down here. So I'm going to come in here with the white. Just come right on top here. Get that highlight. Okay, now I want to blend them. So again, I'm going to get a clean, dry brush. And just manipulate the colors. Until they blend together. And then we need to get our dark in there before everything dries. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of the brown. We're going to come in right here, right on the side. All the way down. And up the side here. Okay, now we need to blend this. Hopefully my paint isn't completely dry here. I'm going to, just in case, pick up just a tiny bit of the color. Because we don't want that to be that darker brown. It's just a shadow of the lighter color. So it should just be a darker version of the lighter color. So I've got a clean brush and now I'm just going to blend everything, just like I did before. Cleaning that up. Okay, now we need to get some shadow on here. Well, also, let's see. We're going to have an area that's slightly darker, so we can just use straight up this color. All right. Okay. So to get our shadow, here's what we're going to have to do. I would like to just go ahead and get the brown. Let's see, let's do the brown first. So it's going to come down and go to the side. Like that. All right, so we need to go ahead and pick up our lighter color here, and we're going to blend this. So we're just going to paint right over it. I'm just dotting some color on there, and then I'm going to take my clean brush and not get water on there. Clean brush, and just come in and blend. Blend like you've never blended before. Well, maybe you've blended like this before. All right, there's a couple of areas that I feel like need to be fixed here. So I'm going to fix them, and that's this area right here. Get a little bit of brown and blend that. There we go. And then, let's see, I want to just lightly scuff the edges. I'm just feathering the edges here. Little tickle. Just so it'll blend into the cup a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to pick up just a tiny bit of white, and we're going to highlight right here. And because I did that, now I have to do it up here too, because the light is hitting these spots. Oops. Butterfingers today. I'm serious, I actually got some sleep last night, and for some reason it did not help my focus. That's all right. I only have like 4 projects due today. Okay, I feel that this is done. I would like to move on to the, wait. We need to catch this side too. My bad, y'all. Because guess what? The light hits more than one place. That is true. There we go. Okay. Let's do our rose. So what we're going to do is I'm going to mix a pale pink. So let's do this. I'm going to add to this white here, red. Yellow. And an itsy bitsy teeny weeny brown. Like very little brown. You can see that. All right. And I had about slightly larger than a dab of the white. This is going to give us a really nice pink. Pink. I used to hate the color pink. I thought it was ultra feminine and just very cliche. But then my mom, you know, got breast cancer in 2005, and so I started buying pink things. And my very first pink purchase was a pair of pink 12-inch boxing gloves. And I'm like, you can't be that feminine. Or maybe that is pretty feminine. I don't know. What is feminine? You know? It's what you make it, I guess, when you're a gal. All right. So we've got the pink. So what we're going to do, get some water on our brush and pick some of this up. But yeah, you know, money went to Susan G. Komen. Yeah, go pink. That's right. Thanks, Mom. Also, my first subscriber. My mom supports me. Okay, so what we're going to do, remember when we did the rose the other day, we had, we worked in layers, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with kind of a heart, but it's going to be a tall, skinny heart. All right. Then we're going to start layering on top of this heart. Now, here's the thing, is we're not going to be able to see everything right away. We're going to be adding stuff. So you're going to be painting over paint. So let's do a big petal here. By the way, as you can tell, because she said something in chat, clearly my mom went into full remission. So she survived. But now I like pink. In moderation. So I'm doing another petal over here. And my petals are just big kind of ovals, really. So now I'm going to do, let's see, I want this heart to be more connected there. Maybe a little petal over here. Let's see, let's do a big petal right here. "14 years, that's right, Mom. Pretty awesome. All right, we've got Another petal right here. Should I be making this bigger? I don't know, probably. Let's bring some of these petals out. It's ultimately, it almost doesn't matter right now. It just looks like a big blob of pink. Once we start getting the shading and stuff, that's when it's going to actually make a difference. So right now, you don't have to worry too much about detail. So let's see. We're going to have, let's see. So if I made these petals bigger, I need to make these ones bigger too. All right. One last petal here. Oh, haha, JK. That's not the last petal. I'm just jumping ahead in my mind. I'm like, yeah, let's get the rose done. All right, there's another petal right here that kind of comes out and down. There. There's all the petals. All right. Now, I need to water down a little bit of this pink because we're going to also do some reflection. I'm just, because I watered it down, I can pull a lot of the color out. And it's going to go right up to the flower. I just wanted to get it nice and watered down first before I did that. There's probably a little right here. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we are going to do our shadows and highlights. So let's see. I'm gonna use this. I'll just take that out. So we're gonna mix a little bit of red. Do I want to do red? Yeah. We don't really need much, but I'm going to also pick up a little bit of brown. Okay. Let's mix just a tiny bit of the pink in here just to get it so that it's the same family. It's like a darker version of the same family. All right, so now we've got this darker pinkish, like it's a very dark, like mauve color. All right, we're gonna come in here and let's see, we've got a petal here. We've got some shadow here. I want to go ahead and blend these before it gets too dry. Now, I'm not going to guarantee how this rose is going to turn out, because to be perfectly honest, I don't think I've ever actually painted a rose. I feel like I've painted other flowers, but I don't think I've ever painted a rose. And they're kind of complex, so, you know, I'm not really going to guarantee that this will look fantastic or anything. In art, there really aren't any guarantees. All right, so let's get some more. Let's get some more of this mauve color, this marvelous pink here. So I'm doing like this kind of U shape, and that's going to show that the petal is hanging over. And then you connect. Let me come back up a little bit. Okay, this one we're only going to blend over here on the side. Because we've got two stark petals right next to it. All right, so this one, let's see. Well, okay. So I kind of fudged one of my, I made a mistake. So let's see if I can remedy this. This was supposed to come down a little bit farther. So we're going to just make it so. So I'm going to blend this here on the sides. And if you start trying to blend and it's not working, it's entirely possible you need like a little bit extra of your light color. Well, too much extra, I guess, is not a good thing. There we go. All right, that's better. All right, let's do, we've got a petal here. So it comes down the side of this petal kind of in the front, and then it curves up. We'll just blend right at the edge there. All right, where else? Where else? Okay, we've got now this is way too much. I pressed my brush down too much, so I'm gonna have to clean this up. I'm gonna actually pick up a little bit of my light pink color and come in here right at the edge of that so that I can blend it. right. So I've got a little bit of this pink on my brush. I'm going to go ahead and go into the next petal. It's like a slightly lighter color. And then we've got a petal right here that we need to do something with. So what I'm going to do, this is going to outline this petal here. So this one here. It's going to come up and connect there. Then we've got, let's see, curves around. I know I'm not talking that much. I'm focusing. Ah, hey Luca. Nice to see you. Haven't talked to you in a while. Welcome. What have you been up to? How are things in the UK? I'm assuming that's still where you are. I don't know if you like traveled beforehand or before all of this mess. Oh no, all alone. Well, I don't know. I kind of like being alone, so maybe maybe that wouldn't be so bad. Guess it depends on how introverted you are. Yep, extra coding. That's right. I think everybody's getting a lot. It's like a very productive time to be a programmer because now you're kind of forced to just get stuff done or do nothing. I guarantee this is exactly how it went down. Every programmer, the first couple days of quarantine, basically, you know, trolled the internet and did weeb things and, you know, looked at memes and dumb stuff. And then they were like, oh, I need to actually do something. And now, productivity. I bet that's how it's going down. I could be wrong. It's nice to be getting a bunch of John streams. And it's pretty cool that there's like a lot of collaboration going on. I think that's pretty exciting. Okay, so we've got our last shadow here. Yes, I know. Very happy about that. Okay. It was a long dry spell there. So this one has like this kind of M, like elongated M shape. And then it will come down. And I realize now that my proportions were a little off when I put my pink petals in there, but you know what? It's all right. I feel like the rose is the least serious part of this painting because, you know, really we were studying cylinders this week and we did the cylinder. So I don't, you know, the rose is kind of, I mean, we did study flowers before, so I guess that's kind of important. Kind of important. Okay. So I'm doing a little bit of blending, but not much because this is pretty dark in this area. I guess I do want these to connect here. And then there's this little guy right here in the back. Well, Luca, I assume you're doing well, that you're not sick or anything like that. I have seen you posting some food pictures, which are nice. You make very good soups, and I'm not like normally a soup person, but everything you've posted looks really delicious. No. Oh, I hate to hear that. Is it like Corona sick or just some other happens to be sick at the same time as all this Corona stuff? Oh man, what a bummer. Oh man, I hate to hear that. Well, I hope they get better. They're young and I'm assuming in relatively decent health before, so yeah, I hope he's fine. What a bummer. I wonder which of his daughters. I'm gonna get a new paper towel. That one's going the way of the dinosaurs. All right. So I put a little bit of white on here. You just realize that soups are super easy to make and very filling and cheap. Yeah, I mean, you can't beat soup for cheap, man. Yep. Well, you've got it down. Your soups always look delicious. Like I said, I've never really been a big soup person, but lately I have been kind of thinking soup. So, you know, maybe it's inspiration from your posts. So thank you. All right, so what I did is I got a little bit of pink on my brush. Oop, you can't see because of my picture. And I'm just picking up some white. So I'm mixing with my brush rather than with the palette knife. So, but I'm getting, let me see if I can tilt this so it's not so bright. So see, I'm getting like a light pink there. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in and do our highlights. So we've got a highlight here. Because remember, our light source is coming from this direction. I need to get a little bit more water. There we go. Okay. We've got a highlight right at the edge here. And actually just a tiny bit of highlight right in there. Let's see. Highlight here. And right at the edge there. And since the rose is on the side the light is hitting it, we're going to have a lot more highlights. So this highlight is going to blend into the slightly darker pink, like the medium tone pink, because it's tilted down away from the light. But we will have some light right here. Okay. Let me get a little bit more of this color. Got highlight here. Anything that's directly facing the light is going to have highlight. So that, if we put a little light right there, that makes that petal, it pushes it back. Let's see. Little highlight. Some right here. So here I'm fixing the shape a little bit from earlier when I didn't paint it all the way. So I'm just covering up. That's the beauty of acrylic. I mean, I really enjoy watercolor, but you can't fix things very well. Let's see. I think, let's see, we'll have a little bit here, and then I think that's it. Now, I just realized something. I have a little bit of dark color left. We need to put some dark color here in the reflection. And because I did that pure dark without watering it down, I'm just going to come in with a clean brush and just pick up some of that color. And I just keep getting any excess off of my brush so that I'm not just like painting over my areas. Let's see, I am going to pick up just a tiny bit of pink. And I'm going to do kind of the same thing I just did, where I'm going to put the paint down and then I'm going to pick it up a little bit with a dry brush so it'll be a little lighter. So you get your reflection. Ta-da. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. So we've got our tea, we've got our flower. Oh, let's do like a little vine or something from our flower, and then we'll be done. So we're gonna do a little dull green. So what I'm gonna do, actually, this gray has a lot of blue in it. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to this and see what green we get. Let's see what kind of green we get. I want to experiment. Let me just make sure I don't need this for anything else. I don't think I do. I think, hold on. Oh, that wasn't, I didn't wet my brush first. Oh, thank you, Luca. I appreciate that. That was my first time doing a rose. I've never painted one before, so I'm glad it was successful. Did I just drip water onto my canvas? I don't think I did. Okay, so what I did was I got a little bit of water, and I'm gonna pick up some of this green color and water it down because I just realized that the shadow area right here is just a little darker than I would like it to be. So all I'm doing is just like a wash with my big brush. Do I try to do Bob Ross? This actually is very similar to Bob Ross, and the reason is because in reality a lot of people think painting or drawing is, you know, just picking up a canvas and just, you know, doing what you see, but there's a lot of steps to it. And so in a true class, you're going to go in steps rather than, you know, just, you don't just start painting. Like there's a process to it. So, yes, it's very procedural. Thank you. That's the perfect word. It's very procedural. So yes, that's how I teach as well, because, it's really the best way to learn how to paint. Now, as an artist of like 30 plus years, can I go and just start drawing something and not be procedural about it? Yes, because I haven't a lot of practice, but I started being procedural, you know? So it's just a good starting place. So yeah, I definitely teach in similar Bob Ross style. The main difference is that I use different media. So he uses strictly oil paint, and I use acrylics, watercolors, and then of course I do drawing. So, okay, so I just wanted to lighten this area up. So what I did was I put a wash on it. I could probably do the same thing with this area, but I don't think that it looks nearly as, I think it's okay, is what I'm trying to say. Let's see, I might actually do a little bit right here because our light source is on this side. And then I'm going to use this color, mix the yellow in. We're going to make some green happen. There we go. Much better. I do actually do oil paintings, and I've shown some before. I have like a Picasso Blue Period style piece that I did. Of it's a self-portrait. That's what we had to do, was a self-portrait in the style of a master. So I had one that I had shown in this, but I haven't. Let's see. Do I have any of my oil paintings handy? I really don't. I don't have any of my paintings up. Okay, so I'm mixing yellow in here. We're going to see what green we get. We're experimenting. But yes, I love to oil paint, and that was actually the first painting I did. I started as an oil painter. Oil is very, very different because it doesn't dry as quickly. In fact, I mean, if I mix linseed oil or something in while I'm painting, it can easily be, you know, a week or so, possibly longer, before anything dries. So you can continue to manipulate, which is why you get like a lot smoother blending, I guess, is probably. I can blend really well with oils. Okay. So this is like a pretty nice pukey green. I like it. I like it. It's very olive. So what we're going to do, I'm going to get some water, pick up some of this green, and then I'm going to do, I want to make sure I have a lot of it off my brush. Coming from right here, we're going to have just like a little tendril. And I bet that's so light you can barely see it, so I'll hold that up. There's a little tendril right there. All right, now I want to do a highlight. So I'm going to pick up a little white, pick up a little green, maybe a little more white. And I'm going to come right in along this tendril. I'm hardly putting any pressure on my brush because I really want it to, be a very thin line. And that's the key. The trick to a thin line is hardly touching it with your brush. So you can use thick brushes. Like I could use this and get a thin line. It's just a matter of how, where's my yellow? Here it is. How much pressure you put. Okay, I'm going to put just a tiny bit of yellow. We don't need much because I'm just going to touch a little bit here. So I'm going to mix in a little bit of yellow with this tiny green here. Just to green it up a little bit, because pure yellow would have been fine too. And then ever so slightly, I'm going to come in 2 parts, here and here. Doesn't look like it did much, but I'm telling you, it's what makes it look real. All right. I'm going to get a little bit of the dark green for right here, because that is not dark enough, and that's up underneath the petal. So it would be darker. And I put a little bit too much, so I'm picking up. So this is what happens if you put just a little bit too much paint. All you got to do is wet, get a clean brush and just go right up against the line. And just keep taking off paint. Done. Ah. All right. So, look at my hands. It's lots of paint. All right. So let's take a look at this. Real quick, we're going to go back to the reference drawing just so you guys can see. Ta-da. Okay. So, and it won't scroll anymore. And it's thinking. But anyway, you can see, even though it's dark because it hasn't fully loaded, you can see the rose, which I did mine a little bit to the front. Like I pulled mine forward a little bit. You can see the coffee cup and the plate. And like I said, my plate was, my plate's a little bluer. So mine ends up looking very pewterish, I suppose. But that's okay, because honestly, I actually like this better as a juxtaposition with the background, because remember, this has orange in it, and guess what? Where is it? Oh no. Dang. I don't know what I did with my color wheel, but anyway, the opposite of blue is orange on the color wheel, which means that it makes it stand out more. So if I had done this the more neutral silver, then it would just be a very muted picture. The flower would probably be the thing that stands out the most, which wouldn't be the end of the world. But I think this is nice. I think that the blue adds like a nice balance. So looking at my piece, as usual, I'm going to do a critique of my work, because it's really important as an artist to critique yourself. And to acknowledge where you need to work, but also acknowledge where you've been successful. I mean, not even as an artist, I think as a human being, it's important for you to do that. It's important for you to get used to not only giving yourself feedback, but also getting feedback from other people and being okay with that, you know, and realizing that it's not a criticism, it's feedback. All right. So we've got, the shape of the cup is a little more funky than I probably would have liked it. It doesn't look real. It looks like maybe this was handmade by, you know, a teenager. Because it's got that one, or no, maybe even just by me, because I've tried throwing on the wheel and I'm not very good. It's like the one art form I just can't get my brain around. So yeah. That's what that looks like. So it's a little wonky, but that's okay. I mean, that's not that big of a deal. And I probably could go in and fix this. Just like I pull up this side a little bit, like, you know, I would just pull this up and that would probably fix it. The rose is okay. I could possibly do even more highlights on it to really up the realism. But I'm not particularly concerned. I think it looks okay it looks rose-like. And that's, you know, that's kind of what we're going for. And like I said, the rose wasn't the most important part. Actually doing the shading and everything on the cup was the most important part, because I wanted you guys to see how to paint cylinders. And I think that was successful. I like my shading on this. I like that it's a little bit choppy over here. I think it gives it a little bit more of a handmade feel. So therefore, I can justify the fact that it's a little bit of a funky shape, because I can say, well, it was made by hand. So there you go. Also the pewter, like I said, if I wanted to do this painting again, I might actually just mix a little bit more of the brown in, and that would give me more of a silver color. Other than that, though, I think the painting is successful. This was my first time doing this particular lesson plan, so that's always a learning experience for me. You know, when I've never done one before, I'm doing it for the first time. It's we're on an adventure together. So, okay, we are done for today. Here is the thing about next week. So I have changed my schedule so that my drawing classes are now on Friday evenings here in Eastern US. And my painting classes are on Saturday afternoons, and this is trying to capture, trying to allow a larger audience to be able to view this instead of the Tuesday afternoons, although everybody's home right now. So, I mean, I guess it wouldn't really matter. But anyway, next weekend is Easter. So I'm going to be doing Easter themed drawings and paintings. We're going to do an Easter bunny, which I have done that lesson plan before, and it is absolutely adorable. Let me see if I don't have that. I don't have it handy with me, but anyway, it's very good. I like that one a lot. And then a brand new one I've never done, which is an Easter basket with Easter eggs, and that'll be nice and colorful on Saturday. So, upcoming Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, which is -4 UTC. So I look forward to seeing you then, and have a wonderful week. Thank you for joining.